I'm going to show you a few tips on building using some of these other commands. So let's say that this piece here ended up somewhere where you didn't want it to go, or you needed to relocate this. Let's say you accidentally didn't hit this auto button. Watch this. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to take the auto button off by clicking on one of these other buttons here. I'm going to click on the beam, and what happens is without the auto button, it just places it on the field. Well, it's kind of embedded inside of the motor. Can't have that, so we need to move this around. Without using the auto button, I can attach it onto here. It's a little tricky, but it can be done using these commands here. Now this just gives me the translation of X, Y, and Z. So in other words, I can grab these arrows and I can move this thing up, I can move it over, I can move it forward or back. If I click on this, I get the X, Y, and Z, but I also get these other commands too, where I can translate it or move it like this as well. So I'm going to put it on this. I'm going to slide it forward, and I'm going to turn it like this. Again, it gets a little tricky. Sometimes just changing your view. Oops. Let's zoom out a little bit. I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to grab, let's see, this one here, just like that. And now I'm going to bring it to here, like so. Now I need to bring it down. So again, it can be done. It's a little bit slower this way. Now do you see how it's snapping? Boom, 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 like that. I can increase that or decrease that by clicking on the different grids. Right now it's on a medium grid. If I click large grid, it will snap kind of larger. The smaller grid, it'll snap so small you can't even quite see it. So I almost always use just the medium grid. So down, 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 whoop, up a little bit, and arrow over, and there it is. Now it's placed. And then again, as before, I would have to use the plus sign to make it smaller or larger. Another thing you could do, I'm going to select this, delete it. If you don't use the auto and you bring it in, again, it places it there. I move it out. I can select auto and then select one of these handles in here. See how it turns green? I'm going to select this one here, and then you can see how I can move it into place. So the auto feature is very handy. So between these three, actually these four, and I can show you this one, you can move your parts wherever you need to. This one here is just this without the X, Y, and Z.